Welcome back, everybody. Just Mike here. If you like what you're seeing here, give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe because it's free. Today we're going to work on another New England Clock Company clock. This one here is, I'm going to guess, is considered the roller for rolling out pie, whatever they call that thing. Let me show you what this clock looks like. This clock is shaped like a rolling pin, so I'm going to guess this would be maybe for your kitchen. The dial is screwed onto 2 screws, and also to get this off, you'll have to take this off around where the key is, and normally you can put a screwdriver in there and twist it and get it out. But first we're going to take those 2 screws off. We'll take the hands off so we can get to the movement. I forgot to show you the back side. It's just a simple board with the hole in it, and there's the bowling pin. There's the movement there, which, like I said, this is a wind-up type clock, and don't know if it runs. We're going to take it out and then we'll see if it runs. It was wound down, so I'm going to guess yes, it does run. It does have a little bit of paint on this from when they were painting their kitchen or whatever. Usually the clock is what suffers when it comes to painting because they're so used to the clock, I guess. Tired of it, I don't know which. Anyway, let me get this apart. This started ticking when I laid it on its back, so I'm quite certain this thing runs. But just the same, we're going to come in here and clean it. And instead of taking those off right away, I want to go ahead and disconnect it from its dial. This here is already loose. It has another one on the where the hands are. They're threaded. You can stick a needle nose pliers in here too if this is really tight to get this off, but normally these aren't, unless it's been left in the barn, they're not real tight. So let's just say there's nothing to see here. So now let's go ahead. This might be too big. Let me get my smaller screwdriver. That's going to loosen it from here. So I'm going to have to pop this cardboard off and possibly get this apart. Let's start here and see. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to guess you noticed the pendulum. I don't know if it's in there, but it did come with this pendulum, which is the same size for pretty much all these New England clocks. Now this is letting it go. So to get this movement off, it has a taper pin here, here, and here. So we have 3 taper pins to take out. You can tell this here is it's got dust because it does have a open pendulum to the environment of the movement. But we're going to go ahead and take this odd looking barrel spring out and clean it. And we're going to clean all the movement, all those gears that are in there. And it looks like it has a pin here, a taper pin to get this off. So a little bit rusty on there. Dusty. This is gonna, well, it's not gonna fall off. It's the E-clip's keeping it on, so that's nice and unusual for these smaller clocks. So let's go ahead and take the E-clip off so you can see, take those off and see just what we're dealing with. Oh, also before I do that, I need to let this down. Let me find something that has that small of a key. It's a little loose, but this will work. Because we're dealing with such a small spring, we'll say. Gets down all the way. And because this is down, let's go ahead. Oh, I don't know if I can take that off yet. It looks like it has the E-clip on here also. It's kind of dirty looking, but that's what it looks like. Okay, I guess that E-clip, we're going to replace it because I can't find it. So there's the winder, clicker, and now this should come off. And so should this one. And now we can go ahead. This is a two-part, we'll say. This is for the pendulum. So it has its own nuts and whatnot. So I'm going to go ahead and take that off. Right now I can't get that taper pin out of there because it's froze up. I will admit I just put some clock oil on it. Let's see if it'll start coming out. Nope, that thing's just in there. So we might be leaving that all together. Not too worried about that. Let's see. I might be able to get this out just taking these two screws out. But I have a feeling I have to take those two nuts off too. These two nuts here are a little bit smaller than these here. I'm using, it's not quite right, but a 3/16 to get these off. And these here are a 5mm. And now the pendulum part should come off. But again, I can't get the pendulum part itself off. There. Well, it's still not going to come off all the way. Well, maybe it will. There we go. So that's that so far. And I've loosened these. So let me put those in the cup and I'll be right back. Alright, let's see if we can get this apart. And the gear below this is up on the top, so this should come apart just fine. Okay, so all the gears came with it. I don't know if I have them back right or not, and I'm not going to deal with it because I have side pictures. I'm guessing this is the way it's supposed to go. But like I say, it has so few gears in here because this is all it does is tick. So I'm not really worried too much about that. And I noticed on this plate here, it does have a number. It's a UW22/4. So I'm going to say it looks like it might be a 2 2/4 because of the second 2 is up a little bit. You decide for yourself. Otherwise, it's going to end up getting cleaned with the rest of it. And normally I don't like to clean these springs. I do know it has a little bit of rust on it. And it does move freely here. I'm going to try one more time to get that off of there before I unscrew this off the plate. Clock oil works wonders. I was able to get that to pop out of there. And there she is. Now I can go ahead and unscrew those. Take this thing apart, or it's already apart, but take it and put it in the movement cleaner. This here, not that you're going to see it because it's hidden inside that can, but it looks like it has a lacquer finish on here. So the plates I'm not going to leave in as long. And then of course, and that's going into the clock movement cleaner. When I take them out, I'm going to be scrubbing them with a toothbrush. Yes, the wife's toothbrush. And some Dawn dishwash soap to try to work some of this stuff off of here. And I'll be doing that with the gears too. Here, to open this up, normally you just take a piece of wood or screwdriver or whatever. You can use a metal hammer because you're holding it with your hand. Wait a minute. This one's a little bit backwards. Normally you hit that small part there. We need the plate to come off this way, so we'll be hitting it here. I just know I'm going to hit myself. Let me get a different screw. Oh, here we go. She's out. Oh, and right there's the rivet. Right there's the hole in the cap if you're trying to line them up to something. I don't think it's a big deal because you're just going to turn this cap and pop it on however. I haven't done a million of them, but I haven't had a problem yet, so... And this is such a light spring and well oiled. I'm just going to take it out with my hand. And when you're taking this out, pay attention to how it came out so you know which way to start winding it in. This one here, you're going to be winding it in counterclockwise. With it out, I can feel the spring is dry. Doesn't really look that dirty till you get into here, but I'm going to go ahead and clean it anyway and put it all back together again. Then I'll lube the spring after it's in the barrel. I had to try several eclips, and this is the one that is staying on, let alone it went on, so I'm happy with that one. And of course, as you saw, I got that on. Before I wash this does say 93 on there, and it might come off, so that's why I'm showing it now. And if it does come off, I'm going to write 93 on the inside. Back the clock right here. I'm going to see if I can show you guys. I need a magnifying glass to read it myself, but maybe this will help. I did see it said New England on there. So the best I can, yeah, there's no best I can do. I'm pretty sure it says New England Clock Company. And it's a Corporation USA. Oh, was that trading or I'm not sure, made in USA. I'm sure it says no jewels. But also on the movement, if you look right there, let's see if I can show you that. There it is. And then let's darken my camera and see if it'll allow you to see that. Where was it? There it is. Hold still so I can see it. This one's a little bigger. The New England Clock Company, Farmington, Connecticut, I think it says, USA, made in Germany, no jewels. Can't get the bottom of it. So I'm thinking that says the same thing as that. And on the dial, besides, it says New England Clock Company. So that's probably what it says, Bristol, Connecticut, USA. So, built in '93, I do believe. So let's get this thing back together again. Oh, I can't. I need to put this on there. So I'll be right back after I get that put on. Okay, we got that on. Now we can wheedle it through here to the bottom and get this cover screwed back onto the movement there. Both of these are the same size. And I forgot to show you, but this does have a slip clutch, so you can put it on the wall level and then move that. And I'm not as worried about cleaning the paint off. If it happens to come off, that's great. If not, these are not in by anything, except there are two staples here, and you can turn these. For instance, this is going to be facing the bottom because this is the way the clock hangs, and I want to hide that. Just turn them, and there we go. Of course, this is going to soak in. Just leave it overnight. But this half is waxed, this half is not, and there's a chance you might not even tell once this thing dries. Now you notice there's two holes up here. This is so if you want to, you can put those little flowers in there. 'Cause I think a lot of their clocks have got these holes, and you wonder what is that for? Ivy, flower, little flowers, something to make your match your kitchen or wherever you hang this. Or this washer is actually supposed to go on first, because it does have a square hole in it. Then it has a nut that goes on top. And the hands have space. So I think I'm going to add a little wax to this to clean it up. I noticed this wax seems to be a little bit of a cleaner too, and gives it back its shine. So let's try that out. It's trying, but it's not quite doing it. And I've never understood these pendulums. The rod comes down, there's a spring on here, and if you have to adjust this, you're supposed to turn this nut, but this is so tight, I don't know how you'd get to loosen in order for this nut to turn. Anyway, I'm going to use some of this polish on there and see if I can liven up a little bit better, and then I'll wax it. Well, it's not perfect by no means, but it looks a heck of a lot better. Like I say, I got this waxed also. So this gives you the idea of what you can do with the flowers. Put them however you want them, or you can put the ivy, because most of their clocks I've noticed had ivy. So that way it's kind of a year-round thing where you don't have to worry about, if you even worry about the flowers. And these are fake, cheap enough, so change them out. So now I got to decide where I want to hang it. Otherwise, I leveled the clock and made sure the pendulum is swinging evenly, or whatever, the even tick-tock, because it does have the adjustable clutch. And now I'm totally thrilled. I have this one to go with the rest of my New England Clock Company clocks. Anyway, this one was a sweet little movement, we'll say. Not very expensive, but all it's there for is to just tick. And that's what made it so easy. Yes, the gear ends were very small, but it didn't matter because there weren't very many of them. And it was in no time, was able to get them together, slide them into place. Bam, we got her going. Anyway, I hope you appreciated this video on this rolling pin clock. And until next time, God bless. But don't forget to subscribe in the meantime. And hit the show all so you can not miss one of my videos. Going from the New England to cuckoo clocks, anniversary clocks, almost you name it, and I've done it or doing it. Even a ship's bell clock by the time this one comes out. So anyway, thanks again. Until next time.